It is January 22nd, 2021, lesson 83 in the Course in Miracles student workbook. So before I tell you the excerpts for today, the lessons for today, kind of wanted to give my experience. I had reached out to a friend about a client that I have, okay? And this client is a friend. And I was seeing a bit of his patterns, okay? And as a life coach, we talk about patterns most oftentimes. We do that when we see our ego and its patterns and the patterns of illusion as you're learning with the Course in Miracles. And I was mentioning that as I see them, I'm trying to point them out, but it's very difficult for the client to actually see it because he's so stuck in his ways, okay? And of course, it's that whole idea, people don't want to be helped. You can't help people that don't want to be helped. But I was put in the position of the client, okay? And basically, my friend was telling me, okay, think about someone that has tried to help you, and think about what is necessary for you to take in consideration that they're on your side, okay, to take the sound advice that they're giving you. And what I learned was that most oftentimes I have to get to a point that I'm severing the relationship, that it's almost damaging because it makes it so difficult to see someone in pain and not recognize that you're the one that is causing pain. Now, as we learn with A Course in Miracles, any attack that we have on others is actually an attack on us because we feel like we're attacked, so we attack others. And with any anger, there's pain under. So 2 things that I recognized was that as I started to see that it takes that long or that much damage control for me to recognize what was going on, so I can actually come to this epiphany of like, oh my God, I can't believe I hold myself accountable and then I still reinforce that suffering within myself. The other thing that's going on is that on the other side, the person that is trying to unconditionally love me and give me sound advice, they are not seeing me from their highest light. They're seeing themselves from this, and what they're doing is pointing out my flaws because they're seeing themselves within me, okay? And as I learned this idea of grievances, they're not real, okay? Because everything has been separated within my mind, that I've created all these stories. And of course they all connect because they all fall into me. But because they all fall into me, the only problem that I have is the separation that I have from my true self. So when I started to see that, I saw the client differently because he was a friend also, that there might be some discomfort or that I might make it different because he is a friend, that I may be afraid to actually set boundaries, or that I may be holding back than I would with a client that wasn't some form of intimate with me, okay? Some form of intimacy, because intimacy is into me see. So what I'm seeing is something there that needs to be worked out, because in essence, there's nothing wrong with me, right? Because I feel like this makes me unworthy, but really anytime that I think about this, I feel unworthy. And those are 2 different things. It's like, I'm not a mad man, I'm a man feeling mad. Or I'm not a sad man, I'm a man feeling sad. So what I do is I identify with the problem, and that's what creates these grievances, and of course, much of the separation of what is going on. Now, on the other side, as I learned, is that now as I'm welcoming these unwanted emotions, now I'm starting to integrate things than they were before, okay? Because I'm becoming aware of things that I wasn't aware before. And I have to go through the process of welcoming the resistance, and the resistance of having and not having, and being able to take in consideration all the parts that I feel unworthy of, and welcoming those parts too, because as I just welcome them up, they start to kind of fall into place as if it were a pattern or a puzzle, if that makes sense. So when we look at the lesson for today, for lesson 83, we look at the review for 65 and 66. And it says, my only function is the one that God gave me. Okay, and that's finding peace in every situation. And it's very difficult when, again, you have so many problems that need very special and many solutions. So it goes, I have no function but the one God gave me. This recognition releases me from all conflict, okay? Because it means I cannot have conflicting goals with one purpose only. I am always certain what to do, what to say, what to think. All doubt must disappear as I acknowledge that my only function is the one that God gave me. The mantra goes, my perception of this does not change my function. This does not give me a function other than the one God gave me. Let me not use this to justify a function God did not give me. And that's the difficult part, right? We try to justify different things outside of what is our gift and our only function, which is to find peace within ourselves in every situation. So 66 says, my happiness and my function are one. So now we're starting to understand that they are the same thing, okay? That there are no problems. That's you being able to find peace is being able to solve the problem in essence, because you're in essence. All things come from God are one. Okay, so everything's interconnected, the law of oneness, okay? They come from oneness and must be received as one. Fulfilling my function is my happiness because both come from the same source. And I must learn to recognize what makes me happy if I would find happiness, okay? This cannot separate my happiness from my function. The oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing including this can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function, okay? So, again, if it's not coming from the source of who you are, then it's separated. It's an illusion, okay? So even if you had some form of goal, you feel like you have several other goals, but it all comes down to one goal, which is being able to find happiness. And that allows you to do everything, okay? Because as you allow yourself to be in love, right? It doesn't matter whether you're married or separated, divorced, single, you're loving life for what it is, and that's where you're taken in every situation. Just like any passion that you may have, right? The passions may change, but you are unchanging, because that's what truth is. Truth is that which is unchanging. Everything else that changes is not real, okay? And that's basically the essence of what the Course in Miracles is trying to teach you. That everything that is fleeting, that is temporal, is not real. And everything that is consistent, omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent, that's what God is, and that's what you are. You are the essence of what God has made you, and your only function is the one that God gave you.